Hello friends, welcome to my English classroom. I am your English teacher Sheikh Rafi. Today in this video, I am going to start C reading from third unit of your English textbook. Before entering into the unit, let us quickly recall the theme of the unit. It is human relations. As part of this unit, we already completed A reading and B reading. A reading, the journey, and B reading, once upon a time. In both these readings, we saw different aspects of human relations. In this lesson today, we are going to see one more aspect of human relations. The title of the lesson is What is My Name? So, let us see the chapter. I want all of you to open page number 102. The title of the lesson given here is What is my name? Now this is an interrogative sentence, a question. Generally when somebody wants to know someone's name, we ask what is your name, what is her name, or what is his name. But when you say what is my name, it seems as if the speaker doesn't know his own name. Is it possible that you can forget your own name? In this lesson, you are going to see about a woman who forgets her own name. But before entering into the lesson, I want all of you to just quickly go through about the author. Look at page number 107. They have given about the author. Srimati P. Satyavati is one of those writers who have brought feminism to the peak in Telugu literature. So we can say that P. Satyavati is a feminist writer. Now, who are these feminist people, or what is this feminism? Feminism actually refers to a movement where the equal rights for women was asked along with men. So, women should be treated equally with men. We all know that India is what we call a male-dominated society, a society where male members are given more value or they have more dominance over other. It's a patriarchal society. So she speaks more about equality of women along with men. Though she is a retired English lecturer, she has great understanding of Telugu accent and the idiom of the respective regions. She is adept in portraying human experiences universally. So she is adept, she is very skilled in showing the human experiences universally. The technique of appealing to readers by weaving the story wonderfully with the philosophical touch and theological aspects is her forte. So it is her strength. Forte means strength. She can very aptly, very beautifully show the stories with philosophical values and theological aspects. And further, she has published 4 anthologies of short stories, 5 novels, and a collection of essays. She has won a number of prestigious awards. This story, What is My Name, is originally published as Illalagane Pandaga Avvanu in Telugu in 1990 and has been translated into almost all the South Indian languages and Hindi. So here you can understand that the story that we are going to read today is basically a Telugu story, Illalagane Pandaga Avvanu, which means cleaning or decorating house doesn't means it is a festival. Somehow in that way we can translate it. That is not the exact translation, but somehow it is close to that's me. Now let us see about the lesson, page number 102. What is my name? Have you noticed how your father calls your mother? I hope all of you have noticed at your home how your father calls your mother. Does he uses her name or not? So in some families we can see a father calls mother by name, and in some other houses they may not be calling by name. They use some other local words. How do the neighbors address her? How do the neighbors call your mother? Does anyone addresses her by name? What about your grandmother? So here you can see all the questions are about women. In this story, P. Satyavati describes how a woman forgets her own name since no one addresses her by name. Now that's the gist of the lesson. She is going to tell us a story about a woman who forgets her own name. Why she forgets? Because no one calls or no one addresses her by name. How does a woman gain her identity? Now that's a question. How does a woman gain her identity? How a woman gets recognition? By name, by marriage, by motherhood, by education, by profession, or by anything else. Now what the author says is, read the story keeping these questions in mind. So overall, while going through this lesson, we are going to focus on the main question: how or what gives woman the identity, right? So let us start the lesson. A young woman, before being a housewife, a woman educated and cultured and intelligent and capable, quick-witted, with a sense of humor and elegance. Now the story begins, and at the very beginning we are describing the woman, right? Who is the woman? She is a young woman, and that is before being a housewife, before getting married. So she is a young woman, a woman educated and cultured. She is well educated, she is well mannered, intelligent and capable, quick-witted. Quick-witted means those people who have a good way of talking to others, right? Quick-witted, with a sense of humor and elegance. Elegance here refer to beauty in terms of manners, right? Some people are very good at talking. Some people are very good at behavior. That goodness in talking or behavior is called elegance, the beauty. See the next para. Falling for her beauty and intelligence, as also the dowry which her father offered, a young man tied the 3 sacred knots around her neck and made her the housewife to a household, and said to her, "Look, Amudu, this is your home." Now that is how the lesson starts. At the beginning we understood that there is a young woman, and she is good, she is well educated, well mannered, elegant, and all good qualities are there. So a man falling for her beauty, a man falling for her intelligence, and also attracted by the dowry offered by her father, he tied 3 sacred knots. Now what do you mean by tying 3 sacred knots? In India we call it as marriage, right? Tying 3 sacred knots means getting married. So a young man tied 3 sacred knots around her neck and made her the housewife to a household. And what did he said? He said, "Look, Amudu." Now what is Amudu? So you can understand here that the very beginning, right? As soon as the girl or the woman gets married, she is addressed by her husband as Amudu. So he is not addressing her with her original or real name. So he says, "Look, Amudu, this is your home." Then the housewife immediately pulled the end of her sari and tucked it at the waist and swabbed the entire house and decorated the floor with muggulu designs. So as soon as the woman saw that this was her house, what did the woman do? She tucked the end of her sari in the waist. Now when do women tuck the end of the sari in their waist? When they are ready to do some household works. So this woman, she tucked the end of the sari in her waist, and what she did, she swabbed the entire house. What do you mean by swabbing? Swabbing means cleaning. Generally we also call it as mopping, right? Swabbing, it refers to scrubbing or cleaning the house, right? We do take a piece of cloth, get it wet in the water, and then we clean the surface. That is called swabbing. So what did this woman do? This young woman, when she became a housewife to the household, she immediately tucked the end of the sari in her waist and swabbed the entire house and designed and decorated the floor with beautiful muggulu designs. What are muggulu? I hope all of you know. It is a Telugu word. Muggulu refers to the rangoli or the different designs or patterns that we draw in front of the house or veranda. So that's the culture in Andhra, right? So she decorated the floor with Muggulu designs. The young man promptly praised her work. The young man promptly means immediately. He immediately praised her work. What he said? You are dexterous at swabbing the floor. Dexterous means skillful. You are dexterous at swabbing the floor, even more dexterous in drawing the Muggulu. He said, Shabash, keep it up. The husband praised the wife. He said, you are highly skillful, you are dexterous in swabbing the house and even more dexterous in drawing the Muggulu designs. He said, Shabash, keep it up. He said it in English. Now this is actually a Telugu story, and when somebody praises you in English, people get boosted. So same thing happened with the woman also. He said it in English, giving her a pat on the shoulder in appreciation. Giving her a pat when you do something, people give a pat. They give a pat on your shoulder to encourage you. So he gave a pat on her shoulder in appreciation. Overjoyed, the housewife began living with swabbing as the chief mission in her life. So the moment she got appreciation from her husband, she thought that this was the mission of her life. This was the aim. This was the chief goal of her life. What is it? Keeping the house neat and clean, swabbing the house and decorating the house with Muggulu designs. She thought that this is what her life was all about. She scrubbed the house spotlessly clean all times and beautifully decorated it with multicolored designs. That is how her life went on. Now this became the daily part of the life of the housewife. Every day she used to swab the house, she used to draw the Muggulus, and this is how the life was going on. That was how her life went on, with a sumptuous and ceaseless supply of swabbing cloths and Muggu baskets. Sumptuous means luxurious supply. She can get as much mopping cloth as she wants. So there was a luxurious supply. Ceaseless means non-stop. Splendid and non-stop supply of swabbing cloth and Muggu baskets. You will get any number of cloths you want for cleaning the house. You will get any number of Muggu baskets, the chalk that you use for drawing Muggulu, for those things. So these two things were supplied to her sumptuously, luxuriously, and this is how her life went on. So you can understand here what is happening in the life of the young housewife. Before getting married, she was young, beautiful, intelligent, quick-witted, elegant. All those qualities were there. She got married. And why did the man marry this woman? Because she was beautiful, she was intelligent, and number 3, he was also attracted by the dowry that was offered by the woman's father. So falling to these 3 things, he tied the 3 knots in the neck of the woman, made her the housewife of a household, and thereafter the things continue. Every day there was only one thing in the life of that woman. What was it? Scrubbing the house, swabbing the house neat and clean, and drawing the Muggulu. Now see what happens. But one day, while scrubbing the floor, the housewife suddenly asked herself, "What is my name?" The query shook her up. The query here refers to the question. This question, it shook her mind. Now what was that question? What is my name? Leaving the mopping cloth and the Muggu basket there itself, she stood near the window, scratching her head, lost in thoughts. Now suddenly this question came to her mind. What is my name? So I hope you can all understand that this young woman, this housewife, she forgot her name. So she kept thinking, she was lost in thoughts. What is my name? What is my name? The house across the road carried a name board. Now she was standing near a window. She looked outside. Across the road, there was another house. There was a board, a name board. What was written on it? Mrs. M. Subhashini, MA, PhD, Principal, X College. Now she understood, okay, if someone is living there opposite to their house, even she had a name. Now she asked, what she says? Yes, she too had a name as her neighbor did. How could I forget like that? How could I forget like that? The housewife is thinking here. How could she forget her name? See the answer. She herself answers. What she says? In my scrubbing zeal, I have forgotten my name. In my scrubbing zeal, in over enthusiasm of keeping my house clean and keeping my house beautiful, I have forgotten my own name. What shall I do now? Now that was a big problem for the woman. She says, what shall I do now? The housewife was perturbed. The housewife was perturbed. Perturbed means worried. She was worried. She became anxious. She became anxious. Her mind became totally restless. Her mind became totally restless. Somehow she finished her daubing for the day. Here daubing refers to daily household activities. She finished her all activities somehow because her mind was now restless. Why? Because she got a question in her mind. What was her name? Meanwhile, see the next para. Meanwhile, the maid servant arrived. Hoping at least she would remember, the housewife asked her. Now who came to her house? The maid servant. Maid servant means women servant, right? If it is a male, we simply call him servant. If it is a female, then we call maid. So the maid servant arrived. Now the housewife hoped that at least she would know her name, the name of the mistresses. So hoping at least she would remember, the housewife asked her, look, Ammai, do you know my name? Now see the word here. Ammai. Ammai is a word which means girl. Look, girl, which is used for girl. So she says, look, Ammai, do you know my name? What is it, Amma? Now the reply was given by the maid servant. What is she saying? What is it, Amma? Said the girl. What do we have to do with the names of mistresses? What do we have to do with the names of mistresses? It means they don't bother about the name of the mistresses. Master, mistresses. The owners, generally the owner, the people for whom you work. If it is a male, we call master. If it is a woman, we call mistresses. So the girl or the maid servant said, what do we have to do with the names of the mistresses? You are only a mistresses to us. That's all. We don't know your name. You are only a mistresses to us. The mistresses of such and such White Stories house, ground floor means you. Now see here, how does the maid servant identifies this housewife? She identifies her as a mistresses of white storied building, second floor, it means you. She doesn't know the name of her mistresses. We should actually know. But here, the maid servant doesn't know and she openly accepts. She says, what do we have to do with your names? You are only a mistresses to us. The white storied house, the second floor, it means you. Now see what happens. The housewife says, yes, true, of course. How can you know, poor thing, thought the housewife. So housewife was a little bit disappointed because she could not recollect her name. See the next para. The children came home from school for lunch in the afternoon. Now this is the second chance for the woman, the housewife, to know her name. So I hope you can understand. Now she is going to ask her children. At least the children might remember my name, the housewife hoped. So she asks the children. What she says? Look here, children. Do you know my name? She asked. They were taken aback. The children were taken aback. Taken aback means they were shocked for a little while. And children replied, what says? You are Amma. That's a beautiful answer, right? You are Amma. Now, mother asked, what is my name? And children are telling, you are Amma. That is how children generally address mother. So they said, you are Amma. Your name is Amma only. Your name is Amma only. Ever since we were born, we have known only this. The letters that come are only in Father's name. Okay. How do they identify father's name? How do children identify their father's name? Because the letters at their home, they come in father's name. So the children says the letters that come are only in father's name, because everyone calls him by his name. We know his name. We know father's name because everyone in the house, they address father by his own name. You never told us your name. So children say, you never told us your name. You don't even get letter addressed to your name. Now that's the complaint by children. You don't get any letters addressed to your name. The children said plainly. So the housewife once again failed to get her own name. See what she says. Yes, who will write letters to me? Who will write letters to me? Father and mother are there, but they only make phone calls once in a month or two. So I don't get letters, only phone calls. That also once or twice in a month. Even my sisters are immersed with swabbing their houses. Even my sisters of the housewife, they are immersed. Immersed means totally involved. Even they are totally involved in swabbing their houses. So how could they write a letter to her? Even if they met me in some marriages or kumkum ceremony, they chatted away their time talking about new muggulu or new dishes to cook, but no letters. Now, even when the sisters met, the housewife, whenever she met with her sisters, they never wrote letters or they never talked about anything else. They used to always talk about new designs of muggulus or new dishes. That's all. So that is why there was no chance of writing letters. The housewife was disappointed and grew more restless. The urge to know her own name somehow or the other grew stronger in her. She wanted to know her name desperately. See the next paragraph. Now a neighbor came to invite her to a kumkum ceremony. The neighbors, they came to the housewife's home to invite her to kumkum ceremony. It's a type of a function. The housewife asked her neighbors, hoping she at least would remember her name. What did the housewife do? She asked her neighbors. What is she asking? Do you know my name? Do you know my name? Giggling, the lady said. The neighbor, she giggled. Giggled means she laughed. And she said, somehow or other, I haven't asked your name, nor have you told me. Somehow it happened. You never told me your name, and even I didn't ask you. Right hand side, white storied house, or there she is, the pharmaceutical company manager's wife. How does the neighbor identify this woman? They identify her by the house where she lives. Right hand side, white storied house, or the pharmaceutical company manager's wife. If not that fair and tall lady. So all the neighbors identify this housewife only because of the place where she lives, because of the building, that is white storied building where she lives. They identify her because of the building, or else because of her husband's job, pharmaceutical company manager's wife. If not, only by her physical features, that she is very fair and she is very tall. So they identify her as that fair and tall lady. That is how we refer to you. That's all. The neighbor said, that is how we refer to you. That is how we identify you. That's all. That's all that the other housewives could say. It is no use. So the housewife understood it is of no use. What can even my children's friends say? So she thought, she had an idea that she could even ask her children's friends. But she said it is of no use. Why? Because they know me only as Kamala's mother or some auntie. Kamala? Who could be Kamala? Yes, the housewife's daughter. So how could the children's friends know? They only know as she is Kamala's mother, or the common name which all women can be called, auntie. Right? So she says, they only know me as Kamala's mother or some auntie. No one, now she says, now my respected husband is the only hope. If anyone remembers it, it is only he. The housewife finally concludes, okay, my children doesn't know my name, my maid servant doesn't know my name, my neighbors doesn't know my name. So finally, she can get the answer to this question, what is my name, from her husband. So she says, now I have to wait for my respectable husband. Now here, using the word respectable to the husband, it's a way of sarcastic writing. Here, the author is not actually showing respect towards husband, but showing the dominance of the husband in the family. So she says, now my respected husband is the only hope. If anyone remembers it, it is only he. So she is hopeful that at least her husband knows her name. During the night meal, so they are having dinner. During the night meal, she asked him, look here, I have forgotten my name. If you remember it, will you please tell me? Will you please tell me what is my name? The respected husband burst out laughing. He burst out laughing when wife asked her name. What was the response of the husband? He burst out laughing. He was laughing very loudly and said, what is it, dear? What is it, dear? Never has it happened before. Never has it happened before. You are talking about your name today? You never asked about your name. Why you are not talking about your name today? Ever since we were married, I have got used to calling you as MOA. How was the housewife husband addressing her? He used to call her as MOA. MOA is again a Telugu word used for addressing in families. Generally, husbands call their wife as MOA. So she says, I got used to calling you only as MOA. You two never told me not to address you that way because you have a name of your own. Oh, now see, that is the situation. What is the husband saying? Husband is saying, you never told me not to call me as MOA, and you two had a name. You never told me that. What happened now? Everyone calls you Mrs. Murthy, don't they? Everyone calls you Mrs. Murthy. So what is the husband's name? It is Murthy. So he says, everyone calls you Mrs. Murthy, don't they? Now see what is the reply of the housewife. She says, not Mrs. Murthy. I want my own name. What shall I do now? She said in anguish. She was getting little bit angry. What should I do now? I asked everyone and no one knows my name. Now that's the question. You know, why this woman is getting anxious or anguish? Because she is unable to find her name. Children, here you must understand that name is your identity. We identify ourselves. We recognize ourselves because of name. And if you don't have a name, it means you don't have identity. You don't have identity. So that's a very difficult thing for a person to live without. So see what is the reply of the husband. He says, what is there? You choose a new name. What is there? You choose a new name or some name or other. The husband advised. The husband advised. What is there? If you have forgotten your name, no problem. You choose any other name. Now see what is the reply of the housewife. She says, very nice. Very nice. Your name is Satyanarayana Murthy. Will you keep quiet if I ask you to change your name to Siva Rao or Sundar Rao? Now that is what we call quick-witted. That is what we call quick-witted. On the face, the housewife gave a beautiful answer to her husband. And she said, your name is Satyanarayana Murthy. And if someone calls you by some other name, will you accept that? Will you accept that? You cannot accept it. I want my name only, she said. So the housewife was determined. She said, I want my name only. I don't want any other name. So see what he says. He says, it's all right. You are an educated woman. Your name must be on the certificates. Now that's the thing. Your name must be on the certificates. Don't you have that much common sense? Go and find it out, he advised her. Now that's a very good suggestion given by the husband. You are an educated woman, so your name must be there on the certificates. So you just open your certificates and check it out. You will find your name. And that was advised by the husband. So let us see what happens. The housewife searched frantically for her certificates in the almirah. She searched frantically. Frantically means anxiously. She searched the entire almirah for her certificates. And what she finds in almirah? Almirah means, yes, the locker. Generally in house we have lockers to keep all our clothes or important documents, etc. Even we keep cash and jewelry, everything in the almirah. So she searched frantically the almirah for her certificates, and what she finds in the almirah? Pattu saris, chiffon saris, handloom saris, voile saris, matching blouses, petticoats, bangles, beads, pearls, pins, kumkum barinas, silver plates, silver containers to keep the sandalwood paste, ornaments, all things arranged in an orderly fashion. Nowhere could she find her certificates. Wow, wow, wow. See the pity thing about this woman. Her almirah was totally filled with all those things which women use for decoration. All types of saris, petticoats, blouses, bangles, beads, pearls, pins, kumkum barinas, silver plates, silver ornaments. Everything was there, very well arranged, but certificates weren't there. Now, what is more important? Certificates are important, or all these decorative things are important? Right? Certificates are more important, right? Why? Yes, because they show your qualification. They show how worthful as a person you are. Right? They are your own achievement. Now, all these decorative things, saris, all those things, she got all those things only after marriage. They are only for external ornament, right? But everything about your inner, what proves those things? It is only certificates. It is only certificates. So she says, yes, after marriage, she had never bothered to carry those certificates there. Oh, now that is what the thing has happened. After getting married, the housewife never bothered to carry her certificates along with her. Can you guess where could be the certificates now? Yes, you are absolutely right. The certificates are at the housewife's mother's or parental home. They are at her parental home. So what she says? Yes, I haven't brought them here. I shall go to my place, search for my certificates and inquire about my name and return in a couple of days. Now that is something that was decided by the housewife. Now she understood why certificates are not there in her almirah, because after getting married she forgot to bring it along with her, and she decides that I will go to my place. My place refers to her parents' place, and search for her certificates and inquire about her name and return in a couple of days. She asked for her husband's permission. Now even this statement is very important here. No, she has to ask for her husband's permission. Now what you have to understand here is, now this statement tells that Indian society is a male dominated society. Here the wife has to take permission from her husband. Similarly, if she is a daughter, she has to take permission from her father. So she says she asked for her husband's permission. Now what is the reaction of the husband? He says, very nice. Must you go just for your name or what? You want to go only for the sake of your name? If you go, who will scrub the house these 2 days? Said her lord. said her Lord. Now see, husband is addressed here by the author as Lord. Who is Lord? The owner, right? The owner, or you can say the master of her. So here again the author tries to show the dominance of male in the society. That's what we are trying to understand. We are talking about feminism. We are trying to bring equality among men and women, but our society isn't like that. So her husband says, what he says, he says, if you go, who will scrub the house for these 2 days? Said her Lord. Yes, that was true. Now what is the author thinking? The housewife thinking. She knows that it was true. If she goes, who will clean the house? Because she scrubbed better than others. She had not allowed anyone else to do that job all these days. No one in the family knows how to clean the house. No one in the family knows how to scrub or how to draw the Muggulu designs. Everyone was busy with his or her own respective duties. He had his office. The husband, poor thing. The children had their studies to take care of. Why should they bother about this chore? And she had been doing this all along. They just didn't know how to do it, of course. Now that was another problem. Husband is worried. If you go for 2 days, who is going to clean the house? Now the housewife, she thinks, yes, that is absolutely correct. Because she had never taught anyone else in the house how to clean the house. Everyone was busy. Husband has his office to look after. Children had their studies to look after. So it was a natural question, who is going to clean the house for these 2 days? Now again you have to think here, is this really a big question? Cleaning the house, is this really a big question? Should the cleaning of house be done only by women or only by housewife? Anyone can do it. So see there what happens. But still, how to live without knowing one's name? That was a big problem for the housewife now. It was all right all these days since the question had not occurred to her. Now it was really hard to live without a name. All these years it was okay. She never had this question or the query in her mind. But now she had a big question. What is my name? Now without knowing the name, it had become very difficult for the woman to live. Just for 2 days, you manage somehow or other. Until or unless I go and get my name, I shall find it difficult to live. She pleaded. She requested her husband. She pleaded with her husband and managed to get out of the house. She pleaded her husband just for 2 days. Somehow you manage the house. I can't live without knowing my own name. I'll go to my home. I'll get my name within 2 days. Just manage somehow for 2 days. So she manages and she gets out of her husband's house and she goes to her parents' house. Now what is the reaction of the parents when she comes to their house? Why, dear daughter? Now see the reaction of the father. Why, dear daughter, have you come so suddenly? Now parents are shocked. Why the daughter has come so suddenly? Are your children and husband all right? Why have you come alone? Now that's a big social issue, in Indian societies. When a married daughter comes to parents' house suddenly or unknowingly or all alone, the first thought that goes in the parents' house, the parents' mind is, maybe there was a quarrel between the husband and wife, and this lady, their daughter, she had left the house and she has come all alone. That's a big issue for the parents, particularly in Indian society. So that is why the parents are a little bit worried. So as soon as she arrived at home, parents asked, why, dear daughter, have you come so suddenly? Are your children and husband all right? Why have you come alone? Now see, what does the housewife say? She says, behind affectionate enquiries of the father and the mother, there was a strain of suspicion. There was a strain of suspicion. Parents were suspicious about the daughter. They were suspicious that their daughter might have quarreled with her husband and left the home, and she has come to their house all alone. That was the suspicion there. So suspicion refers to, it means doubt. It means doubt. Recollecting immediately the purpose of her visit, the housewife asked her mother most pitifully. So instead of replying father's question, what did the housewife do? She recollected why she came to their house. She recollected the purpose of her visit and she asked her mother most pitifully. What she said? Amma, tell me what is my name. She is asking her mother, Amma, tell me what is my name. Now see what is the reply given by Amma. What is it, Amma? What is it? Amma, you are our elder daughter. You are our elder daughter. So what does this mean? This means that she didn't get the answer to this question even from her mother. Even from her mother. And how the mother used to address the daughter? Amma, 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 or otherwise elder daughter. So she says, what is it, Amma? You are our elder daughter. We gave you education up to BA. BA means Bachelor of Arts. We gave you education up to BA and then got you married with 50,000 rupees as dowry. We took care of your 2 deliveries. Each time we alone bore the expenses of maternity home. You have 2 children. Your husband has a good job, a very nice person too. Your children are well mannered. Oh God. Now in this paragraph, the author has shown the true face of the society, of the Indian society. This is how things happen, when the father of a daughter, if he needs to get his daughter married, he has to make sure that all these things are done. He has to get his daughter educated, then he has to give dowry for getting his daughter married, and even after getting married, when the daughter comes to delivery, and the parents has to bear the expenditure of delivery. So here mother says the same thing. Each time we alone bore the expenses of the maternity home. Bearing the expenses of the maternity home. All the things we have done on our part. We have fulfilled all our duties. And she says, everything is good with you. You have a good husband. He has a good job. Your children are nice. They are all well mannered. Now, what is the question? What was the question that was asked by the housewife? She asked, Amma, what is my name? And instead of telling her name, Amma told the entire history of the daughter. So the daughter gets angry. What she says? She says, it's not my history, Amma. It's my name. I want. At least tell me where my certificates are. Now the housewife is getting angry. She is getting anguished. So she says, if you don't want to tell me my name, at least tell me where my certificates are. Now see the answer. She says, I don't know, child. Mother says, I don't know, child. Recently, we cleaned out the almirah of old papers. The only hope where the housewife could find her name was certificates, which was kept in almirah. And what is the mother saying? She says, I don't know, child. Recently we cleaned out the almirah of old papers and files and arranged some glasswares in their place. Glasswares means glass plates or decorative items, etc. They have been arranged in the almirah. Some important files we kept in the attic. We shall search for them tomorrow. So the papers, whatever the papers or the certificates were there, we kept it on the attic. What is attic? Attic is a shelf, generally a shelf like a place that we build in houses, right, to keep all our luggage, etc. there. So she says, some important files we kept in the attic. We shall search for them tomorrow. Now, what is the hurry? Don't worry about them. Take a good bath and have your meal, child, said the housewife's mother. She said, don't worry about all the certificates, etc. They will be there on the attic. We will search it in the morning. Right now, take a bath and rest for a while. Now see what happens. The housewife took a good bath and ate her meal, but she could not sleep. Why she couldn't sleep? Because this question was troubling her a lot. So what she did, while scrubbing the house, humming happily, joyously, and making mugulu, she had never thought that she would have to face so many difficulties like this by forgetting her own name. Now these were the thoughts that were going on in the mind of the housewife. So what happened? She started searching the certificates. She started searching for the certificates. Dawn broke. Dawn broke means the sun rose. It was a day, early in the morning. The dawn broke, but the search for the certificates among the files in the attic had not ended. The search had not ended. She was searching for her certificate right in the middle of the night. But she couldn't find it. It had not ended. Now see, from here the story becomes a little bit dramatic. What happens? Now the housewife asked everyone she met. The housewife, she went outside the house and she was asking everyone. What was she asking? What is my name? What is my name? What happens there? Now the housewife asked everyone she met. She asked the trees, the anthill, the pond, the school where she had studied, the college. She started asking everyone. And what is the author trying to show here? The author is trying to show that the housewife had become restless. She had become hopeless. She couldn't find her name from any source. So she went out of her house and she was asking everyone. She asked the trees, the anthill, the pond, the school where she had studied, the college. Everywhere she went out asking for her name. After all the shouting and the wailing. Shouting and wailing. Wailing means screaming. She was screaming, she was shouting, she was asking everyone about her name. After all the shouting and the wailing, she met a friend. She met a friend and succeeded in recovering her name. She finally met a friend and succeeded in recovering her name. Now let us identify who this friend was. That friend was also like her. Like her means even she was also married. That friend was also like her, married, and a housewife like her. But she had not made swabbing the sole purpose of her life. That friend, she had not made swabbing the sole purpose. Sole means single purpose of her life. Scrubbing was only part of her life. In friend's life, scrubbing was only part of the life. It was not the sole purpose of the life. She remembered her name and the names of her friends. Now this friend, she remembered her own name and the names of all her friends. This particular friend recognized our housewife. Here, what does our housewife means? Our housewife refers to the housewife who forgot her name. She recognized this housewife. And what she says, see, turn the page, all of you look at the page number 106. Sarda, my dear Sarda, she shouted and embraced her. She took her in her arms and she called housewife by her name. I hope all of you can identify the name of the housewife. What is it? Sharda. Sarda, my dear Sarda, she shouted and embraced her. She here refers to the friend. The housewife felt like a person. She felt like a person. She was able to identify herself. She gained her name back. She gained her identity back. So this time she felt like a person, like a human. So totally parched and dried up. She was totally parched. Parched means dehydrated, dried up. Why she was parched? Why she dried up? Because she felt very thirsty and all the while she was running here and there trying to find her name. She was parched and dried out, about to die of thirst. What was the condition of the author, the housewife? That is Sarada. How was she? She was totally dried up. She was thirsty. She was about to die. And what did the friend do? Getting a drink of cool water from the new earthen kuja, poured into her mouth with a spoon and given thus a new life. What did the friend do? She saw that her friend was absolutely thirsty. She went to a nearby place and from an earthen kuja, earthen means made of mud, kuja means pot. So from an earthen kuja, she draws some water and with a spoon she poured into her mouth. Can you feel how she would have felt? So what she says, thus giving her a new life. She was about to die. The housewife Sarada was about to die. Why? Because she was totally dried up, dehydrated, and she was very thirsty. She was about to die. So at such a moment, her friend poured water into her mouth and gave her a new life. The friend did indeed give her a new life. See, their author once again repeats. Author says, the friend did indeed give her a new life. The friend had actually given her a new life. So 2 times she gave her a life. The first time the life was given by pouring some water into her mouth because she was about to die of thirst. The second thing is she was about to die because she couldn't find what her name was. And what did this friend do? She told her what her name was. So in this way, she gave her friend one more life. So that is why the author says, the friend did indeed give her a new life. You are Sarada. You are Sarada. You came first in our school in the 10th class. You came first in the music competition conducted by the college. You used to paint good pictures too. We were 10 friends all together. I meet all of them sometime in or other. We write letters to each other. These things are being told by the friend. We were all 10 friends. You were the topper in the 10th class. You came first in the music competition. You were a very good painter. We all the 10 friends, we meet each other. We write letters to each other. Only you have gone out of our reach. Only you have gone out of our reach. We cannot reach you. Tell me, why are you living incognito? Tell me why you are living incognito. Incognito means you are living totally cut off from all others. We cannot find you where you are living. Her friend confronted her. Her friend asked her all these things. Tell me, where had you gone? Why are you living a life incognito without being known to anyone else? All these questions were posed by her friend. See what does the housewife say. She says, yes, Pramila, what you say is true. Who is Pramila? The name of her friend, Sarada's friend. Now we know all these names. We know the name of the housewife. Yes, it is Sarada. We know the name of the friend who told her name. Her friend is Pramila. So Sarada says, yes, Pramila, what you say is true. Of course, I am Sarada. Of course, I am Sarada. Until you said it, I could not remember it. I could not remember it. All the shelves of my mind were taken up with only one thing. All the shelves of my mind. My entire mind was filled up only one thing. What is that? How well I can scrub the floor. How well I can scrub the floor. How well I can clean the floor. I remembered nothing else. I remembered nothing else. Had I not met you, I would have gone mad. I would have gone mad, said the housewife named Sarada. Said the housewife named Sarada. Now that is how the life of Sarada had turned. When she got married, she started living her life as if swabbing the house, cleaning the house was the sole purpose of her life. But that actually is not truth. That is the thing which was not done by her friends, Pramila. Right? She also got married, but it was swabbing the house or cleaning the house was only part of her life, not the entire life. The way our housewife, that is Sarada, was living. So in this way, the housewife got her name back. Sarada was able to get her name back. See the next para. Sarada returned home, climbing the attic and fished out her certificates. Fished out means searched her certificates, the pictures she had drawn, old albums, everything she succeeded in getting out. She also searched further and managed to find the prizes she had received in the school and college. So we can say that in this way, Sarada actually got back her identity. She got back everything she had earned while she was in the school, while she was in the college, and she picks up all these things, and with all these things she comes back to her house. Now let us try to see what is the change in her behavior after she gets back her identity. Overjoyed, she returned home. Overjoyed means very happy. Being very happy, she returned home. See, when she returns home, what is the reaction of the husband? You have not been here. Look at the state of the house. Look at the state of the house. State of the house means condition of the house. It is like a chowdhury. It is like a chowdhury. What is a chowdhury? When people come to the pilgrim, they are given a place where they can live without paying anything. It is called chowdhury, like a common place for everyone. So he says, it's like a chowdhury. Our house is like a chowdhury. Oh, what a relief you are here. What a relief you are here. Now it is like a festival for us. He says, now it is like a festival for us, said Sarada's husband. So Sarada's husband was very much troubled. He says, you were not here for 2 days, and see what is the condition of the house. It has become dirty like a chowdhury, a place where a lot of people stay free. So it has become like a chowdhury, and now you are back. It is a festival for us. Now see what is the reply given by the housewife. She says, just scrubbing the floor doesn't make a festival. Just scrubbing the floor doesn't make a festival. Now that is the title of the lesson. We were told at the beginning by the author, Illalagane Pandaga Avvanu. Illalagane Pandaga Avvanu. Just scrubbing the floor doesn't make a festival. Husband was feeling happy. He thought that wife is back, now she will keep the house clean and it will be like a festival for us. So housewife said, scrubbing the floor alone doesn't mean festival. By the way, from now onwards, don't call me Yemoe Gimoe. My name is Sarada. Call me Sarada. Understood? Right? Now that is the change in the attitude of the housewife. She actually got her attitude back. She actually got her identity back. So she tells to her husband, don't call me Yemoe Gimoe. Call me by my name. My name is Sharada. My name is Sarada. Having said that, she went inside humming joyously. Humming means singing. She is singing some song in a low voice. She went humming joyously. Joyously means happily. Sarada, who had always cared so much for discipline, keeping an eye on every corner, checking if there was dust, making sure things were properly arranged, each in its correct and respective order, now sat on the sofa which had not been dusted for the last 2 days. Now that was the change. You know, how was Sarada? She was a very meticulous woman. She used to keep everything neat and clean. She used to keep everything on its place in a proper order. But now she was sitting on a sofa which was not dusted, which was not cleaned for past 2 days. And what she was doing there? She sat there showing the children an album of her paintings that she had brought for them. She had brought for them. Now actually Sarada realizes the purpose of her life. She understands that life is more, much more than just cleaning the house. This lesson is actually for women. They should realize that getting married or becoming a housewife, it doesn't mean that you should restrict your life only to house. No, life is much beyond that. Cleaning the house is only part of the life. More than that is knowing yourself. So that is how the lesson comes to an end, whereby the housewife gains her identity, gains her name, gains her recognition. So that was all about the lesson, what is my name. I hope all of you understand how a woman struggled to get her name. More than the name, it's all about the identity of a person. So hope all of you understood and enjoyed the lesson. Children, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you very much.